Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy live. We have got a great show lined up for you tonight with Mr. Will Collier with DB180. And we got quite a few things to be talking about tonight. His new class has just been released, and not only that, but we've also got some new things to talk about, some new products that he's got. So it's going to be a great show. I hope everybody stays for the show tonight to its entirety. Will's always so great to talk to and very wise and when it comes to rubs and stuff like that. So we're really looking forward to talking to Will. Also, let us know as you come in. Gordon, we appreciate you being here tonight. Always can count on you. And also Mr. Terry Rome, the champ's in the house. Appreciate you being with us tonight, Terry. Caitlin Crane can always count on you. I'll tell you what, we got our regulars that are always here, and we are always grateful to have you with us. Emelian, thank you for being here tonight. And Cassie, all the way from, I think, Australia, the land down under. Appreciate you being here with us as well. So, Paul, thank you for being with us tonight. Appreciate it. Candace, thank you. If I recall, I think you had a birthday here not too long ago. So, happy birthday. I think it was yours. I try to remember all these people, and they keep flashing across. It's sometimes hard to keep up with everybody. John, appreciate you being with us tonight, always. And I'm hoping the weather's is a little cooler up there. It's been not quite as bad in the last week down here in Shreveport. We haven't been busting the hundreds, but we've been in the mid to upper 90s. But anything better than 102, 103 degrees, as far as I'm concerned, is a huge relief. Zach, thank you for being here. Brenda, as always, we appreciate you being here. And Paul, let's see. Hello. Thank you for being here, Paul. We appreciate you coming in tonight. Daniel, thank you for being here. Dan, we appreciate it. Hello from Akron. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Darian, thank you for being with us tonight. Oh, high 70s. Man, that's nice. So I wish we could get some of that. It's coming, but we're going to probably be another 2.5, 3 months before we start getting that. So good evening, Toby. We appreciate you being with us this evening as well. So I hope everybody's been having a good week. We're getting ready to go to a barbecue competition down in Bunkie, Louisiana. I'll be leaving out tomorrow and heading that away. It's always a good time to go down there. Actually, we'll leave out Thursday morning. And a good time down there at the Gator Grounds. Looking forward to being with all of our barbecue family. And it's a really nice RV park. And the cool thing about it, you don't see too many RV parks like this, but they've got a lazy river. They got like a 3 or 4 story slide to go down, and they got an indoor pool, and they got a couple kiddie pools as well. So I'm sure my wife will find one of them. I really care less about it. I do enough with swimming pools every day that I don't really care about getting in them. So I'm going to leave that to her. But it's always great to be able to go down there, and it's a wonderful, wonderful RV park. James, good talking to you the other day. We still need to catch back up a little. But we appreciate you being right all the way from Chicago. Adam, hey, buddy, how are you doing? Get up. Chucky, how you doing, buddy? Hope things are going well for you. And Michelle, looking forward to you guys getting married here. I know it's getting close. Won't be too far away. And congratulations to you two guys. I can't wait to see y'all get hitched. We've got another champ in the house, Miss Marissa Overson. Hey, sweetie, how are you doing? Hopefully things are going well for you. I'm sure you're glad that you've graduated and got all past that for the couple months and now out in the real world. So hopefully you can start doing a little cooking. I haven't seen you a lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks, but there's a lot of stuff going on that I just sometimes can't keep up with. So I know that girl. Will, she's ready. Hello, Shauna. How are you doing? Heads up, y'all are going to hear my kids in the background. It's a zoo around here. So, yeah, Will is literally hiding out where he can actually have just a little bit of peace and quiet. So, but we'll get through it. He was talking to me before the show, and we couldn't hear a thing. It sounded absolutely great. So, Heath, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Looky here, we got another champ. Scott, how are you doing, buddy? Good to have you with us tonight, Scott. Always great to have these champs with us, and we really do appreciate you, Scott. And once again, an absolutely incredible year that you had last year, and not doing too bad this year yourself. I know you haven't been cooking quite as many competitions, but those that you have cooked, you have done very, very well. Very happy for you, buddy. Anybody else coming aboard? if we ain't got nobody else, we're going to give him another minute or two. It's only about 5 after, and then we're going to bring in Mr. Will himself. I'll take real quick time to go in and thank all of our absolutely amazing partners. We couldn't do what we do without them. And I really do want to thank everybody for the support that you're showing all these guys. I know a lot of people are using them to buy rubs and stuff. We got Danny with Be Extreme Barbecue. I know Terry Roan has been really working with them since 2017, 2018. I know it's at least back that long. Got some great product. Also, our friends at Prairie Fresh. I tell you what, if you are looking for some good ribs, the Prairie Fresh Prime Ribs that is sold at Raider Red Meats are absolutely off the chain. One of the best ribs that I've ever come across. If you call Raider Red Meats, and it's part of Texas Tech University, they use the meat department there to help raise money for scholarships. But talk to Kirsten. Tell her I sent you. I don't know. She said, Mike, we can't even hardly get enough ribs in for all the people that you're sending to us, and we really do appreciate it. So be sure to check them out. Also, my good buddy, Mr. Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, carries a full line of almost every rub and accessories that you could imagine. Mr. Wild Bill, Texas Select Seasoning, be sure to check them out. My good buddy, David at Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Love those knives. Absolutely phenomenal, super sharp. And if you're looking for a knife, check out the Lightning Pro Cut series. That's the one that I'm very fond of. Also, my good buddy Dustin at the barbecue store. We appreciate him. Full line of rubs, sauces, accessories. He's got it as well. Mr. John Lindsay, all queued up as well. He's got a great line of products. And Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue. They got an amazing rubs and glazes. So be sure to check them out. And got some pretty good rubs as well. We really appreciate all their help and the support over the years. Got a couple more folks that's been on here. Craig, thank you for being here. Jen, we appreciate you being here. Got almost 30 in the house tonight, so we appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and see if we can cue up Mr. Will. Will, we're getting ready to bring you on board, buddy. So line that camera up, big smile, and we're going to bring you in, and let's see what happens here. Hey, brother. How you doing, man? That's a big smile.
Good. How's it going?
Doing good, man. Doing good. It's always great to have you on, and the success that you've had. Looks like you've had some pretty good runs this year yourself, and I know your team DB180 has done exceptionally well. So how's things been going for you?
Oh, just busy, man. Living life. Super busy with regular work, and just I have 4 kids, and we're always doing something every day of the week, it seems. So I just had to race back here from a back to school night. Thank God they start school again in 2 days.
Give you a little break, huh?
Man, I've been waiting for it for so long. I just can't go. But
that's funny.
Yeah, every night we have football. We either have football or we have baseball practice, and then we have game weekends. So we have about 1 day a week where we're not doing something. And we stay busy. That's kind of life for us right now, is running around, chasing the kids around, and trying to put family first. So
So what's the ages of the kids?
15, 9, 6, and 3.
Woo! Golly. Yeah, you got a full house, no doubt.
Yeah, one more, and then we could play some 5-on-5 basketball.
There we go. That's funny. Well, I'm glad you at least got a chance to take a little time out tonight. I know you was last minute trying to see if you could get it squeezed in, so we do appreciate that, and that you were here. Will's in the closet. Yeah, he literally is. He was like, well, the only place I can go is in the closet because I'm trying to find a place where it's quiet. And right now, this is the quietest room in the house. So anyway, I think that was funny, though. I was like, yeah, let's see if somebody picks that up. So anyway.
I stay here as much as I can before I work during the day, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can get from the craziness.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about your new class updates that you did. We released them Sunday week ago, and got your brand new class out. New 2022 updates was released, and I tell you what, it was really, really different, like your rubs and stuff. I love a couple of the new rubs that you've got, especially that spicy garlic. It is phenomenal. And I'm not going to say all the rubs that you're using in the class, but I'll at least say that one could have at least been somewhere in the process, but it is a really, really good rub. But yeah, it was really cool to have you come in and kind of show some of the things that you've done a little different. Your cooking process hasn't changed a lot, but the recipe has. Right. And let's talk a little bit. I know you've got a couple new rubs, so we'll talk a little bit about some of your newer rubs. Mm-hmm. And let's also talk about your beef brine or beef marinade, whichever one you want to call it. Let's talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, so in the update, when I originally filmed the class, I hadn't created my beef brine yet. It wasn't finalized. I had started working on it, but it wasn't completed. So I ended up completing that about 6 or 7 months after I filmed the original class. So once it came out and I started using it, I had a lot of questions from people how I use it, because I personally use it dry, and a lot of people use it dry. And I'd have people asking me, just for tips on, hey, how do you use it, or how do you use it dry? How long do you leave it on? What do you do with it? So, I was happy to have the opportunity to come on and film an update to actually just show them what I do. So
right.
That takes away from me having to send out so many messages on the same thing, but it gets to where I can just copy and paste. So
right.
Not still, I don't mind.
Right.
Helping people out. So the beef brine, yeah, that's been a game changer for me. I can't remember the last time that I got below a 49 in texture using it. It's just worked for me dry personally. So
right.
I haven't changed that at all. That's been for about a year and a half now, or ever since it came out. I haven't changed that how I use that at all.
Right. Right.
And then the two new rubs that are more SCA kind of geared are the sizzling steak and the spicy garlic. And I incorporated those into my recipe starting the weekend before I came down and filmed the update. Actually, I had already been playing with it a little bit, but at Worlds I wasn't confident enough to switch what I had been doing all year that had been working last year. So I was running all year last year, and then I finished like 18th or 19th in my little division or whatever. So I didn't even make the finals. And then my wife and my buddy Jeff Lanham both ran the new recipe, and both of them made it to the finals. So I was like, I guess maybe I should have done it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, so that's, and then, so you just, after seeing Sean and a couple other people doing really well with it, then you decided for 2022, now that we're into it, go ahead and switch over to it. And you've done pretty well with it too. I've been kind of following you. It looks like you've had some really good cooks. So
yeah, I haven't been cooking much this year. Just because of how busy I am.
Right.
With life in general. It's been nothing like last year. I think I had a buddy, Troy Bilbro, flew in from New Zealand, and he stayed up here for 2 weeks, and he wanted to go cook. There was a double in Oklahoma on Saturday, and then there was a single in Oklahoma on that Sunday. He wanted to hit those, and then he wanted to go to another competition the next weekend. And I mean, I was dead tired by the time we got done on that second weekend. It was just like, once you take off, it's not like a sport where we're doing anything super physically draining or anything, but man, I was tired. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is getting out there, especially here. I mean, it was 100, and I think someone shot the black asphalt that we were cooking on in Tulsa, and it shot 151 degrees, and that was radiating up into our faces.
Wow.
So that's why you don't see Will cook very much whenever June rolls around. I don't stand out there when it's 150 degrees. It's like, it just isn't fun for me to cook.
No. There's nothing fun in that kind of heat. Nothing. Nothing. And y'all are just cooking a steak. You've got, an hour total prep. Barbecue, and forget about it. It's just way too freaking hot. So,
right.
Yeah.
If you can't to drink except water, and it's too hot to even drink beer, then it's not a fun day for me.
It's not fun. That's 100%. All right, we got one quick question and we'll keep rolling. Gordon wants to know, are you still turning in the occasional seared steak, or have you just kind of not really?
So I haven't, just since I haven't cooked as much this year, I haven't turned in a seared steak since Worlds. I turned in for the open competition. I did a seared steak there. I think that was the last time I did one, so it would have been in March. But I don't even know if I've cooked 15 contests this year, maybe 15, 16, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
I would have, I will turn in some sears this year whenever I do start cooking again, just because I've already got my golden ticket. So I still like turning it in just to see
if it'll hit.
Yeah, plug one in here and there just to see if the judging's come around a little bit on it, if it's changed since the last time I was turning them in. Yeah. But I haven't one in since March. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen anybody, or have you heard of anybody even doing the seared?
Not in my region. At least, the times I've cooked, Troy wanted to do it when he came, but I strongly advised him against it just because I still, in this region, I just haven't seen it score as well. And you just have so little room for effort whenever you do it, or for error whenever you you don't have as much room for error. When you do a grilled steak, there's a lot of room for forgiveness. You can make a couple mistakes on there and still pull out a call. And if you make a mistake in the seared, then it's pretty much over.
Yeah. I know somebody that cooked steak for me down here, and freaking it was money. It was one time, one and done, and freaking money. And that steak was so dadgum good. It is a shame the judges are just tattooing you because of appearance of a grill mark, because the flavor is, and the texture on that steak was just phenomenal. So
yeah, it's still, I still love eating that steak. And I mean, I still will go and watch my class myself, because if I'm out of practice with it, I'll be like, okay, what were my times? Because I dial it down to time and temp.
And you did.
And it'll be perfect every time. So every time I go back and I do that, it always turns out awesome. But I have noticed that when you turn a seared steak in, or at least whenever I have, sometimes the lighting can affect it to where the appearance, at least the lights that the judges use might make it look darker. When you put it in the sunlight, it's like a beautiful golden brown. And then on their lights, it looks almost darker. So they'll think maybe it's like maybe a burnt, maybe it has burnt. So they might hit. Maybe that's why they're hitting it on appearance, and then they taste it, and then the taste scores are always there.
Yeah. Oh, the taste scores was phenomenal. I mean, and it was, because you was like, okay, it's going to go in here. We're going to do this. I'm going to have my skillet here. It's going to be here, flip. And it's going to be perfect. And I remember, nailed it. I was like, man, it was perfect. I mean, you had that process down to like absolutely knew exactly how long the temperature of the steak went in the same. The skillet was the same, everything. And you're right, it was just absolutely phenomenal. So Scott Nardi says, I tried a seared steak back in April at the Six Pack in Wisconsin. It didn't work for me, but the next day my buddy Pat McDevitt pulled out a third with the sear. Okay, all right, that's good.
I like it. I don't like getting pigeonholed into doing one thing, and I don't like getting stuck. That's the best thing about cooking and competing, in my opinion, is I like to change it up, and I like to get creative and with what I do, because my normal day job is pretty monotonous, and I'm used to doing the same thing over and over again. So whenever I get out there and I'm cooking, that's the last thing I want to do, is just the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
So I like rubs and sauces, and that's what makes me happy. So
yeah. Well, hey, right now it's working really good for you. Beryl, thank you for being here. Congratulations. You had a couple big walks this weekend. We're rolling out for the first time in a while, so congratulations, man. I appreciate you tagging us. So, I mean, your class, I mean, I think it was really good. We don't ever know, like, when we shoot it and the editing and get it all done, but man, it was pretty long. I think it was almost 40-minute long class, and very detailed, covered everything. We try not to leave everything out. We cover literally from the cooking process to the trim. We talked about what changed, what hadn't changed, to the steak selection and everything. So I appreciate you doing it.
Because I think the steak selection video was 45 minutes long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On the original, it was long. So you really there wasn't much that we could change on that. I mean, we covered everything that day. So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about, we've got your class out. Let everybody know, if you've already bought Will's class, it was added to your group of classes. So it's just at the very last one where it shows him boxing the steak. Then right after that, it just shows, the 2022 updated recipes. You didn't have to pay for it. That was just something that Will came in. We covered the cost and the expense of the filming and editing and getting it up on the website and stuff. All that's taken care of. The only thing that we ask, like we said in the video, if you would give us a shout out. These guys are coming in. I mean, Will drove 6 hours to get here, 7 hours to get here, film, my film crew, everything. We don't charge anything for that. And we're trying to keep you guys updated with the most current recipes that they're using. The only thing that you can pay them back by is if you just give us a shout out. And if you're using Will's class, talk about it, Will, I think you told me you had somebody up on the East Coast that had cooked using your recipe. Didn't you tell me that before the show?
Yeah. I was just thinking about it as you were talking. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get paid to drive down there. I just drove down there because I was like, man, I'm open one day on a Friday. Can you come up here? And I told Sean, I was like, oh man, 6 hours. I don't know if I want to do it, but I'll do it. So yeah, help me. I'm poor. Buy my class.
Yeah, buy his class. Buy now, as Lee Hickle would say. Buy now. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, someone on the East Coast. Yeah, Todd Johnston, one of my cooks on DB180, had messaged me and had mentioned that he had used the new recipe or after watching that update and did really well with it out there. Yeah, so it's always good to get messages like that. And I said it in my class, but the best way to get a hold of me is going to be to send me private messages, and don't get back to you like that day or the next day. I will get back. I will respond to you eventually. But if you tag me or try and mention me on Facebook, sometimes I'll open it up and I'll have so many notifications it'll be wrong, shuffling. I might miss it. So
right.
Don't be afraid to shoot me a private message either and let me know. I like hearing that. I enjoy hearing about people that are benefiting from that class and that believe in it, and it makes me happy to hear that. So gives me a little bit of reprieve from the chaos of my everyday life.
Yeah. How did the guy do up on the East Coast that cooked the recipe?
I think he got first. I know he got a big taste score. He said it was something like a 53.6 or something like that. It was a big one. So
wow.
But I think he did get first. That scrolling through, like I said, a lot of people are using it and enjoying the new rubs, that spicy garlic and sizzling steak. Those rubs are doing very well across all regions. So I'm seeing a lot of golden tickets taken home for them, and it's always good to see. Even if I'm not out there cooking and shaking hands and kissing babies, I can sit and watch it from afar, and I'm still pulling for everyone and rooting for you along the way whenever I get that free time to check in on my Facebook just to see how people are doing.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about DB180, your team that you've got out there. I mean, obviously you may not be able to go out and cook because you've made a commitment this year to a little more family time, get some rubs, doing some things, kind of burn out a little bit from last year. That can help. But you've at least got a great team together. I don't know how many you got, but I know it's got to be probably a dozen or two. So I'm sure they're giving you feedback, and have they been doing pretty well this year?
Oh yeah, and I have what I do is I have cooks in each region, and I separate it out into Facebook groups so I kind of keep a open line of communication between them. So I like doing it that way, just because if people are going to use the rub and support me, then I want to support them any way that I can. So I want to make sure that whatever I'm putting out, it's not just something that's regionalized. So I invite that feedback. Hey, what are you doing? How's it going? What are you seeing working? What are you seeing not working? And we go back and forth. And most of the people know that whenever I'm developing products, before I finalize that beef brine, and there's people in the chat right now that are on, that are cooks on my team that receive Ziploc baggies of
in the early stages.
It was the prototype, really. And I make adjustments based on feedback from the SCA cooks that I have that are using it, because I want to know that it works before I finalize it and put it on. And I can't just say, if it's just me going out and me cooking, that's too small of a sample size. And so I want to hear from, there's better cooks than me out there, and they're all using it and
doing well.
Feedbacks are, I take constructive criticism very well, and I take that advice well, and I make adjustments based on people that I love and respect. And I have a great team of cooks behind me that just support the brand and support me and my family. And I cook with the same group in Oklahoma. Ty Higgins, my best friend since we were 15. He's been tearing it up. He won both in a double last weekend. I think he's got 3 wins this year. His daughter, Kydelyn, she's coming in strong as a 14-year-old.
Wow.
She's won. I think she has 2 or 3 wins this year. She won back to back at a double too. And
wow, at 14.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow.
That girl has nerves of steel. Like, you can't throw her off. Ty tries to tell her what to do, and she's like, "I got it." Like, scoreboard.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, so it's a fun little battle to keep tabs on. I love those two, and I love Jeff Lanham and just the people that I cook with every single weekend. And when Troy came down from New Zealand, Troy is pioneering DB180 in New Zealand. I can tell you that he's gotten guys using it up there that are winning. And it's funny, he told me that a guy like got first place up there and just slaughtered. Like, I mean, he finished first by a mile, and he was using my sweet heat rub, which is a barbecue rub, because he didn't realize that he just thought everything was for steak, and he used it on there and got like a monster score. So I was
That's crazy.
Hey, I think I've never tried it on one. So
yeah.
To Collinsville with Troy, I tried it on my steaks, and I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good." So
I mean, dang, it goes to show you never know. You got great rubs. I mean, I will say one thing about your rubs: the sweet. I was playing around with the sweet today, and I mean, you've got great flavor. They don't taste the same. They don't have some of those aftertaste that you get in some of the rubs that I've tasted before, where they either like too bitter or they got too much zest or something in them. Back end heat is just not very smooth. Yours are all just really, really good. So yeah, I would imagine you could probably play with a bunch of different combinations and do pretty well.
I put that speed on steak, but I mean, I know a lot of people that use it in KCBS and do really well with it, and it's amazing on ribs. It's amazing on turkey. I know that. But I think it goes just to making sure that I think it's important to use really high quality ingredients. So we're never going to be able to, if you're coming out with stuff like the sauces, I just came out with my 2 sauces. I'm not going to ever compete with Head Country or Rays. That's not the market that you have to try and compete with. So I'm looking at it, and I have retailers calling me like, "Hey, what's the wholesale on your sauces?" And I was like, "Well, what are you typically seeing?" Because I know what I'm paying for them, because I've got real honey in it, and every ingredient's real. They say, "Hey, we have a synthetic honey that we make that tastes just like honey." And I said, "No, I don't want that. I want real honey. I want ketchup that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup." Everything's all natural. So if I take my products, I could go into a Whole Foods type deal, but it's just using real whole ingredients makes a difference. And to me, that specialty seasoning and sauce market is the niche that I have. And it's just, you start with high quality ingredients and you're going to get a good finished product. It's no different than having a well marbled brisket compared to a low grade
select.
It's not any different whenever it comes to the rubs and the sauces. So
pay a little more, but the quality is phenomenal. So
you pay for that's
you
the
get
way.
what you pay for.
Try to keep the prices competitive too. I'm not making a ton of money off this. It's funny because people see DB180 everywhere and they assume I'm rich or something, but I'm like, you have no idea. It's probably $2,000 in that bank account right now, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, that's crazy. Heath posted, it helped me last weekend. I added both sizzling and spicy garlic in my current recipe and hit second and third with a highest taste score. So thanks, Will. There you go. So
I think he sent me a message about that. Yeah, I did remember getting that message from that. And he cooks in a different region too. Yeah. So it's always good
different
that do it and that it works, and people are having success with it. That makes my heart happy, whether that they're just enjoying using the product. So
yeah, absolutely. Danny wanted to know, Danny Helms, like, what certain things do you do for your team? Do you kind of help them out with rubs? Do you kind of moral support if they're struggling with something? What do you kind of do with helping your team out?
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways to go about it. That's something that I struggled with, deciding what to do, because from a business standpoint, it's just a hobby that I started and enjoy making good products, so wanted to share it with the world. Hard to say no, so I had to kind of tone that down, because the first year I would have, what I do for my team is I provide them with product, to cook with, or I'll provide them with discounts to be able to purchase product basically on my site at their cost. So that's the way that I do it. I'm like, hey, I can only afford to give out so much stuff. I really can't afford to give a bunch of stuff out for free. But what I can do is I can make sure that they get stuff at my cost or something like that, where it's not costing me anything other than time. And then I try to I usually spend quite a bit of money at Worlds. So that's a place that I do spend quite a bit of money. I took my team out to Top Golf whenever we went to Worlds this past March. And then I bought just a gang load of shirts and just different swag type items to hand out at Worlds just for people that were there. And I ran out, and it was funny because there were so many people like in line that we weren't really paying attention, and there were a bunch of random people that saw a line and just got in it and like got free shirts and stuff. I was like, hey, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see, that steak and beef rub any good on brisket in the process of tweaking our brisket recipe?
Yeah, you just coat that sucker with it and you'll be happy.
Okay, steak and beef rub's good on brisket.
A lot of KCBS teams use the steak and beef rub on their brisket.
Okay.
I did a KCBS with Shauna. I think it was in May.
Mm-hmm. It was a couple months ago.
We had a Wagyu brisket that had been in our freezer for like 2.5 years. I was like, I just need to cook this thing. And we pulled a sixth, and Clark Crew was there getting basted.
Wow.
There, 4 legs up. There was some big heavy hitters there, and we pulled a sixth brisket. And I coat the hell out of my briskets with steak.
Steak and beef. Okay, that's cool. Okay, good. Hadn't popped my cherry yet using it. Yeah, you need to try it, Cassie. It's good. Sweet heat and grill all would probably work up here. That's Dan.
I bet you're not off on that.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet heat. Sweet heat is good. So now I've got sweet. There's another one there's sweet and there's a sweet heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sweet heat came out whenever I launched spicy garlic and sizzling steak at Worlds. Sweet heat was that third kind of type rub that I launched with those two. So it came out at the same time those two did, and it has some notes from the sweet in there. So it does have a little bit of maple, has a little bit of pure maple, a little bit of pure honey, and then it's got red hat chili.
Okay.
For the heat element, and I think it's well balanced. It puts a nice back end heat on it, but I never tried it on steak until Troy told me about the New Zealander. So I tried it though, and
it was pretty good.
I mean, it stuck to the grates because there's some sugar in it, but
right.
I'm just kind of like an anti-sugar on my steak person, but I tried it just to try it because I'll try anything once, you know.
Right. So what's the big difference between perfect pork and sweet?
So the perfect pork, the sweet rub is essentially perfect pork is the base of it, and then it's just got a gang load of pure maple and pure honey and molasses powder in it.
Okay, so that's what's in the sweet. Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted a really sweet rub, and that's my most expensive rub too. So if you really want to try and put me out of business, just buy a ton of sweet because my margin on it is extremely small.
Right. Okay. If y'all got questions, let us know. We got Will here tonight. Kyle's got a question. What do you prefer to cook on? Let's do steak and then barbecue, since I don't know if it's for barbecue steak. So what do you prefer to cook on? I know you're a hasty bake guy.
I am. I'm a hasty bake guy, and it's not just because I live in Tulsa. I just believe in them. I like the hasty bake because I like the ability to raise and lower my charcoal. I think that it's versatile enough. I like smoking meat on it too, so I know how to. The biggest thing to me is if you know your cooker, you can use any cooker as long as you master it and you know it. And I can run a hasty bake with my eyes closed. So for me, I'm so used to it. We went up to that Collinsville comp, and Chris Bonnemeyer from Code 3, Kevin Jenkins, Marty Plute helped us out with some equipment up there, and they had Troy cooking on a PK. I haven't touched a PK since like 2016. So Troy's temperatures were going all nuts, and I had absolutely no idea how to help him. I was just like, spray cold water on it and shut this vent. And their vents are to me in an inconvenient place because they're right underneath where it's super, super hot. Where the hasty bake, if I'm someone struggling with that, no matter what model it is, typically you can just open the side door, you can maneuver the charcoal around, move it around, put the fire wherever you want to put it. So I mean, I'm a big as far as grills go, and I just enjoy a good cast iron skillet too. I mean, I cook a ton of things in cast iron skillets. I love meat in cast iron.
Yeah, cast iron's hard to beat.
Skillets, you name it, it doesn't matter. I'm a cast iron person.
Yeah, I love cast iron skillet. You cook bake Ranger, right?
I cook on a Suburban.
Okay, the bourbon.
Higgins is at, because my grill and my setup just lives in his trailer. Thanks for that. So whenever I'm and Ty's not at, then I'll usually cook on a Ranger. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see what else we got. Brian Davis, being active duty Navy and being a part of Team DB180, we love supporting veteran business. DB180 is the real deal. Yep.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, Brian's an active duty Navy. He's an officer in the Navy. So thank him for his
cool. Yeah, thank you for your service to our country, Brian. Absolutely. So
I actually met him in California, and then he got re-stationed on the East Coast, I think in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. So he got hit both sides of the United States.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool. Hey, if y'all have got any questions for Will, fire them away. I've already seen people in there buying classes. If you want to know how to find Will's classes and how incredibly well he's done, you can go to that website right there, bbqchamps.com. Right on the home page, you'll scroll down to Meet the State Grill Masters. You'll see Will's name right there. Click it. We've already got some folks buying, so we appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And go check him out, DB180, Will Collier. So, and tell you what, real quick, Will, why don't we talk a little bit? We've talked about some of your rubs and stuff, but I've heard you mention a couple times you've got some sauces. So tell us about your two new sauces. What are they? Are sweet sauce, vinegary sauce? Tell us a little bit about them, what the names of them are.
I'm a pretty simple guy. If you know my rubs, I try and be straight to the point of what it is. So I'm DB180 original barbecue and spicy barbecue. So it took me a really long time to get those ones right. Rubs come naturally to me. It was a very easy transition for me. I feel very, very confident in my rub making game.
Right.
Sauces, completely different story. It took me forever. I can't tell you how many gallons and gallons of sauce I dumped down the drain. I couldn't get it right. To me, it either always just came out tasting too much like ketchup, or tasted nothing like barbecue sauce. So it took me quite a long time to actually get a base that I could work with, that I was confident with. And then I just kind of built on it from there. And my overall goal was just to have an all natural sauce that has a good consistency and that's just balanced. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is it's a really balanced sauce. It has a nice sheen to it. The consistency somewhere in between, like a head country and a Sweet Baby Ray's, is kind of right in the middle, almost like a Caro syrup.
Right.
Right. So fridge, it doesn't get super rock hard thick, but even if it's heated up, it's not super thin to where it's just going to run all over the place. So
okay.
That's what I cared about the most. I wanted a really good consistency coming from competition barbecue. I wanted to make sure it was something that I could pour on, a piece of chicken or something and have it just kind of run down the sides and have those little flakes of seasoning in there. So it does have those flakes of pepper in there.
Little pepper, yeah.
Really nice color, and the flavor is just balanced. I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay.
I'm very happy with how it turned out, and the spicy one is actually my favorite one. But the original is very good too. I just had to try and dial the spice rate back because I like heat. So I found that in my first prototypes of the original that I was handing out for feedback, I was getting a lot of feedback that it was too hot, too spicy.
Okay. On the original?
On the original, yeah.
On the original, okay.
I had to really dial that back before I was confident enough to bottle it. And I took it to the KCBS competition we did just to try it out. I got a 6th place. I put it on all 4 meats. Okay. I finished 12th in pork, I think 14th in chicken, 6th in brisket, and 7th in ribs. So,
dang. And ain't cooked in probably, what, a year and a half, 2 years, and you rolled out and did that?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty, pretty good.
Overall in a really good field. And, the taste scores were all there and the appearance looked good. And so I was like, all right, we tried it out. It worked. Let's roll with it.
Yeah,
A little bit for logistical issues. And once we got those resolved, I went ahead and I put it out there. And I think we launched them about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it's they're only available on my website right now because I haven't quite figured out rubs. No problem. I can figure out wholesale info and all that. Sauce, I pay a lot for my sauce. I can tell you that. So I pay more for my sauce than what you would pay for Sweet Baby Ray's at Walmart. So
wow,
I can't. That's what I'm saying is like you can't compete with that.
No.
So,
the volume, and they're just using corns.
Which it's all delicious. I mean, just however you feel about high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of artificial ingredients, then mine's all natural. So I can promise that. I know everything goes into the bottle, and the goal is to market it more as that type of
all natural.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So is the original sweet touch of heat? Is it sweet little tang? What does it have any tang, or is it just sweet with just a little back end heat or something?
It's not as sweet. I would say it has a tiny bit of back end heat, and it's kind of balanced between tangy with vinegar and the sweet. It's not an overly sweet sauce, and it has a little bit natural hickory smoke in it too. So not much, a little bit, because I typically don't like to put a lot of fake smoke in, sauce, because that's what you have a smoker for.
Right.
But I found that that's kind of what was missing on the straight up barbecue flavor out of the bottle.
Right.
I was like, it's missing something. I added just a tiny bit, and it's such a small amount, but it makes a difference.
Makes it taste like barbecue, right? And that's what you're trying. You don't want it to taste like ketchup.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a slightly sweet and savory sauce that has a back end heat to it.
Okay, so a little sweet, little savory, touch of back end heat. Man, I'm gonna have to try some.
Spicy one will light you up.
Oh, the spicy will light you up.
It's delicious.
Good. All right, Steve. Now, well, we don't cook together often, but my ears are always open when we do. You're one of the best all-around cooks in the world. Much respect for you. So that's from Steven.
I love me some Steven, Christy Noble.
They're
people and amazing cooks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, he did really good. I was in Collinsville too when we drove up there and cooked on the equipment over there with Marty, and Steve got him a big call. I think he got him a second or a third or something like that. It's a nice big call. Yeah. And me and Christy were talking about our pork steaks because we never cooked them, and I actually finished 11th, and I was pretty happy with it. I was like, hey, I guess I did all right, and I used my barbecue sauce on that too. Yeah. So taste scores were all there, but it looked like a pile of
crap.
It didn't look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've never cooked a pork steak, so I didn't do it.
Where'd you cook it at?
In Collinsville, Illinois.
Okay.
Chris loaned me a Hunsacker drum, which I'd never cooked on one, and that thing ran like a champ. That was awesome. I didn't tie it up, so it didn't look pretty. Whatever a pork steak is supposed to look like, it didn't look like. So
it tasted good. That's all that counts.
Got good.
All right. Yeah. So Scott Nardy's got the question of the night. Let's go to the point. Let's get to the point here. What is Will's beard grooming routine? That thing is majestic. Gordon says he rinses it with beer. So
I love
it. I know one thing. Anytime we was on film, he was always, we good? I mean, that beard is like perfect. So
that's like one of the few things I just do strictly for, I would say, myself. I have a rolling appointment every 4 weeks with a barber, and he's the only one that I'll let touch my beard. I go there every 4 weeks and I get it cleaned up a little bit. And other than that, you just have to keep stuff in it. I put beard butter in it and keeps it nice and soft and fluffy. Shauna likes it.
Right. It looks a little shorter than when you was here originally on your original class. Is it a touch shorter, or is it just me?
The original class, I was like borderline looking homeless on that one. I think it was all over the place.
It's pretty long.
That thing was fried. I didn't know how to take care of my beard back then, I don't think. But
that's funny.
Live and you learn, so I'm a lot better.
Yeah. You're missing out. Love pork steaks. Yeah, pork steaks are good. John Lindsay cooked pork steaks in his class. He did a steak And then he did pork steaks. I was like, I had never had a pork steak. Pork steak. He said, "Oh yeah, you just slice the brisket." I was like, "Really?" And because we don't usually see that down here in Shreveport. And he put them on a gateway drum and cooked them and sauced them things up. And man, you talk about good. They were really good, you know. So
Louis area, like a Midwest thing.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said they're really big up like where he's at. He's like, it's just that and Missouri and stuff like that. They're real big. So not so much down here. So all right, anybody got any questions for Mr. Will? Now would be a good time to pop them in, shoot them out. Let's see what you got.
Chat, so you'll have to pull them up if they're there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Goodness. Once again, if you're looking for his class, you can go to bbqchamps.com. As we mentioned earlier, if you're just now joining us, Will just got through releasing his new 2022 updated steak recipe on barbecue. If you've already bought his, it's already been added to your classes. You didn't pay anything for it. And the only thing we ask is just help cover his cost. He had to drive 6 hours down here, 6 hours back, and didn't charge any extra. And we filmed it and did everything. So give us a shout out. That's the only thing that we ask. Let's see. Will is coming out west. So you going out west that we don't know about?
Vernon. I mean, I forgot. So I said at the beginning of the season, like last year, I'd cooked a lot of contests, but the only two regions I didn't get to cook in were like Utah, that area, and then the East Coast, like the Pennsylvania, Virginia area. And I really wanted to cook in those two regions at some point. So me and Ty Higgins are flying up to Salt Lake City in a couple weeks, and we're going to be cooking up in Utah. So I'll be able to see what it's like to cook in that type of altitude. I'll be very interested in seeing, the differences, and I just love it. And who knows? I might throw a Sierra out there. I think it's a quad, so it makes it worth our time to fly up there. So through Fort, maybe I'll throw it out there. I know they're more receptive of the Sierra up there in Utah because I think quite a few more people turn them in up there, and they usually have very good turnouts. I've always noticed the Utah comps when you look at it. There's always seems to be like 40 or 50 entries, and their ancillaries end up having like 20 or 30 entries. So there's a lot of competition there, and they're people that I don't get to see very often, and I'm excited to get up there and see them. I hear it's beautiful up there. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. So we've got quite a few questions that's popped in. Let's first start with Zach. Thoughts on scraping rubs off and re-seasoning?
I don't do it. I know some people do, but I never have. I've tried that whole clean appearance before where you scrape it off and it looks real clean. And I mean, appearance is the least important score. I really, truly believe that in steak. In the ancillary matters, but steak, the appearance is the least important. I've chosen steaks that I thought looked perfect as opposed to a steak that I thought I might have done better and, was more tender. And I got like a 47 in appearance, and it was a perfect looking steak. So don't scrape them. I won't do it. Okay,
don't do it. Okay, Cassie, just come to Australia. Just come cook in Australia. Cassie wants you to go to Australia.
That's my bucket list, mate.
That's the bucket list. Yeah.
Me and Ty are going to New Zealand in either November or January. So it'll be not this coming January, but next November or the following January. We're planning to come up to New Zealand, and while I'm there, I might as well hop over the pond and go over.
Go to the land down under. That's it. All right, Luke Hanish says, "Hey guys, I'm late to the party. Did I hear you in the updated video right? You don't cook a practice steak."
No, I'm one of the few morons that cooks both my steaks at the same time. Yeah,
he does. It's what he said in the class. I cook them both at the same time. Whichever one I feel is the best, that's the one it gets. So, 5,200 feet elevation is what Brandon said. Yeah, that's pretty dadgum high. So, wow, that's going to definitely change things up. Got some Gunnar Wilhelm knives ordered this year. I promise you this, you will absolutely love them. Heath's back. Come to Pennsylvania in 2 weeks. There's a great contest in West Newton, Pennsylvania. Grill your ace off.
Yeah, Raz was trying to get me to come there too, and I really want to. But if I look at it the way I'm looking at it, I'm going to be in Utah the weekend before, and they added a competition in Tulsa the weekend before I go to Utah, or the weekend
So
after. So
that would be 3 weeks. Yeah.
that I'm not built for that anymore, Heath.
No.
Next year, or maybe towards the end of the year, I'm going to come to Pennsylvania or Virginia and cook
one up there. That's cool.
Yeah, Saw Blade Awards. I really do want to go. Those are like the coolest trophies. I haven't seen the Utah trophies. Maybe they're cool too, but the Saw Blades are like one of the. I would say the Saw Blades, and then any of those BBQ trophies that they hand out, like those are like the cream of the crop as far as the SCA trophies go. Like, yeah, winning cool trophies is awesome because they start to pile up enough to where you get the ones that you really like to stand out.
Right.
Maybe play those. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Saw Blade.
Absolutely. Anybody got any other questions for Will? Let's see. One more. What do you look for in your steaks to pick?
My class is 45 minutes on a steak selection.
There you go. If you want to know what he does, he's got a 45-minute class just on selecting the steaks. I promise you, there is so much to learn from that. BBQChamps.com. He'll tell you everything.
It's to me the most important part, and what affects probably texture the most. So if I'm gonna give one hint, I would say I look for marbling, and I'll look for marbling in the eye, because if the eye's marbled, then that's gonna be good too.
Yeah, there you go. There's your little one pro tip he'll give you right there. Definitely wait until it's cold before you come north. Yeah, it's Jason Rackley. Are you still passing out free hugs? Of course he is. Always. Well, I tell you what, I really do appreciate you coming on. Thank you once again for being part of BBQ Champs Academy. If you're looking for some amazing classes, we've got them for you, whether it's barbecue or steak. Will's got his new 2022 recipe updated. If you're just joining us, it's out very, very well. We just didn't show how to cook because he didn't change that, but it's the recipe, techniques, what has changed. We cover it all. I mean, just talking about that was almost 40 plus minutes. And it's very, very detailed. Brandon says, hey, I love the updated videos. Thanks, man. Let's see, Jason, joking aside, that 45-minute selection and trimming is a game changer. There you go. I mean, if you want to know, if you're going to play with the big boys nowadays, you just about got to get, and we've got some great guys that are doing phenomenally well. There's a lot of people, even if you just look through here tonight, a lot of guys are just crushing it with these classes. Will, thank you, man, for being part of BBQ Champs Academy. And you want to thank your sponsors or anything?
Yeah. I appreciate you, Mike, and I appreciate BBQ Champs Academy for everything they've done for me and my family too. I do believe in the platform, and that's why I chose to do BBQ Champs instead of doing classes in a different format. I wanted to do it through BBQ Champs, so appreciate the opportunity on that.
Absolutely.
I do want to thank my sponsors, Hasty Bake, Charcoal Grills. Of course, they gave me a shot back whenever nobody else would. When I very first started, years ago, I'm one of the Hasty Bake OGs, and I'm a loyal guy, and I'll be with them forever. Royal Oak Charcoal, love Royal Oak Charcoal. I mean, it's just a killer product. The tumbleweeds as a fire starter, you can't beat those either. And
they're good.
All natural briquettes that's my jam right there.
That's it.
Been messing with the charcoal pellets too, and I love the flavor that they put on the food through a pellet smoke. So those are mainly it, and just thank all the cooks out there that run DB180 that have grabbed a bottle of it. Every time you have, it's supported me or my family in one way or the other. And I love hearing from all you guys. And I might not be out there cooking as much, but I try to keep up as much as I can. SCA, DB180 wouldn't be anything without the SCA. So I'm very, very thankful for everybody that's tried it out and that enjoys it. So that's it. That's all I got.
That's good. That's really awesome. Well, I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know you're really, really busy. Appreciate you just squeezing out a little time for us tonight. And I hope everybody's enjoyed this podcast tonight. Certainly great to have Will on. Get out there, go out there, have fun, spend some time with the family, friends, and loved ones. And as we always there, have a lot of fun and